The God-shaped hole in the internet. It sounds pretty dramatic, right? But what if I told you there's a fundamental flaw, something baked into the internet's DNA from the very beginning that explains so much about our frustrating digital lives? Let's get into it.
So let me ask you this. Does the internet ever just feel hostile? You know what I'm talking about. The constant spam, the bots everywhere, having to remember a zillion different passwords for everything. It feels like this amazing thing we built is actively fighting us. And guess what? You're not just imagining it. There's a really deep structural reason why it feels this way.
All right, here's the game plan. We're going to look at why things feel so broken online. Then we'll dig into what some call the internet's original sin. After that, we'll see how the big tech platforms became the new gods of this world. And finally, we'll ask what's coming next.
Okay, first up, a broken digital world. Let's really get into why our digital lives feel so off. It's something we all experience, but it actually starts with the words we use, or the words that are used to describe us. I mean, just think about this for a second. In the real world, you're a citizen, right? You're a customer, a partner. These are words with weight, with agency. But online, you're a user. That's it. It's such a passive word. It basically means you're just someone logging into a system owned by someone else, kind of begging for permission to do things. And this quote just nails it. We have accepted a digital existence where we own nothing and access everything only by the grace of a server admin. Wow. It's true, isn't it? We don't really own our digital stuff, our photos, our conversations. We're just borrowing it. And that access can be cut off in a heartbeat. So how on earth did we get into this mess? Well, that question brings us to the real heart of the matter, the internet's original sin. And no, this isn't about something that happened a few years ago with social media. We're talking about a huge oversight, a catastrophic omission from way back in the 1970s. Okay, so the people who built the early internet were brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and they were focused on solving what you could call brute facts. Think of these as the simple physical truths of the world. The internet is amazing at this stuff. It can prove that a chunk of data got from my computer to yours and that it didn't get scrambled along the way. It's a master of physics. But, and this is the crucial part, they completely forgot about institutional facts. What are those? Well, they're the things that are only true because we all agree they're true. Things like money, identity, trust, contracts. You know, a dollar bill is just a piece of paper. That's a brute fact. But the fact that it's worth a dollar, that's an institutional fact. And the internet, at its core, has absolutely no clue what any of that means.
And this chart really breaks it down. Look, the internet can prove a message was sent. That's a brute fact. But it can't prove who sent it. It can send a perfect copy of a contract, sure, but it can't enforce the handshake, the trust, behind that contract. It was built to move bits and bytes perfectly, but it was never built to understand the human meaning behind them. So what happened? Well, this huge gaping hole appeared, this missing layer of trust, of identity. It created what the source material calls a God-shaped hole, right in the middle of the new digital economy. The internet itself couldn't handle trust, so a massive power vacuum was just sitting there, waiting to be filled. And you can probably guess who rushed in to fill that void. This is the story of the rise of the platform gods. So who filled that trust void? Well, a whole new pantheon of gods showed up. Google stepped in to handle information. Amazon took over commerce. The banks handled money. And maybe most importantly, Facebook became the de facto gatekeeper of our identity. They became these giant, centralized, institutional fact machines, doing the job the network was never designed to do. And what does that mean for us? It means they now own the database of truth. They are the ones who decide who you are online, what you're allowed to see, what you can buy. You don't have your own independent digital identity. Nope. You have a Google account, you have a Facebook profile. Your identity is literally stored on their servers. This quote puts it perfectly. We're now trapped in this geocentric universe. It's like we went back in time before Copernicus. The platforms are the massive suns at the center of everything, and we're just the little planets stuck in their gravitational pull. We don't have our own gravity, we just orbit them. And let's be honest, we all made this trade. We traded away our sovereignty for convenience. It was a deal, right? We got free email, one-click shopping, a way to connect with old friends, and all we had to give up was, well, control over our own digital lives. It seemed like a great bargain at the time. Now, maybe not so much. So that's the past and the present, which leads us to the big question, what happens next?
Is there a revolution coming? The idea we're left with is this. The next big thing on the internet isn't just another app. It's about giving your database, your data, your identity, a personality. Giving it agency. Letting it work for you. So after all this time being a passive user in someone else's world, the final question is pretty simple. Are you ready for that?